Rambling Dasher, yes. And we are getting a very late start today. I have clicked the Dash Now button and we are headed out, but I haven't got any orders in the last 5 to 10 minutes since I clicked it. It's a little sprinkling, rainy day, so we'll see what happens. But we're gonna get out here and give it our best. Today is a long day. I don't think we're supposed to get bad weather. Maybe I should check the weather, I guess. So it says rain showers, but yeah, it's supposed to be light, moderate to light up until about 6:30 or so. So another hour and a half maybe. So, and again, it'll just be hit or miss. Let's see, it looks worse further south from here. And then it just kind of dissipates and maybe picks up later on tonight around 10 or so. So maybe I can get some decent orders between now and 9, 10, fingers crossed. It has not been, I don't know, it's been an okay week. The weather is not the best. I missed all of Wednesday, which was normally a decent night where I get 80 to 100 with my goal of 100. I didn't get anywhere close to my $50 goal on Tuesday, but I got 111 or so on Monday. And then last night I got like $60 or so. So that put me at a number, let's see where I'm at 210. So minus the 100 that I would normally get on Wednesday, I should be at 310. Ideally, anyway. I'm hoping I don't have to get gas today, but I might have to get gas. I know this is probably my last day to DoorDash for a good long while. Because I'm going on this trip and I won't be able to DoorDash where I'm going, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to not dashing. I'm looking forward to we're going to be going to Portugal for a month, and we're actually gone for 5 whole weeks. I'm working my regular job on Monday, then we have to leave a little bit early to go to the airport, and we're flying to Dallas, and then we catch a flight from Dallas to, I don't know where we go from there, but then we end up in Lisbon by Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. So, yeah, looking forward to that. Yeah, I won't be door dashing the whole time. So that probably throws a big kink into my monetary budget. But hopefully I get to relax some and not have to work, 3 hours or 6 hours on the weeknights after I get off of my regular job. I know DoorDash doesn't necessarily feel like a job, but it just like I get out and run some errands, and then but it's also stuff. Obviously, it's just like a job because I can complain about it. But yeah, so hopefully I get $100 tonight. Will put me over 300. Fingers crossed. That's the goal anyway. I don't think I'm gonna have time to do any dashing over the weekend because I've just got to nail down all the particulars to finish up packing, which I haven't started packing. We did a practice packing because in reality we are not checking a bag. At least that's the plan. It may change over the weekend if we can't seem to figure things out, but yeah, we are not going to check a bag. So, alright, so I just got an order for, wow, I'm going to go ahead and take it because I haven't got any orders, and I just missed my turn because I was in the far turn lane. But Chick-fil-A for 8 miles for 6.75. We'll accept that one and just get something, right? Instead of sitting here at 0 for the rest of the night. I'm gonna do my best to accept everything. There may be some things that I don't accept just because. So we'll look at that. I'm gonna look at my ratings right now. So right now my ratings are, I'm still platinum, which you know I was the other day. So I am at 82% acceptance and 100% on completion rate. I am at a steady 93 on time or early. I don't even know if that's a real thing because I've never seen it change. My customer rating is still 5.0. I've been a solid 5.0 for like maybe 2 weeks now. I took some hits over the last 2 or 3 months, and it was hard to get out of those. So, but got it back up to 5.0 with my last 100. So, 162 deliveries in the last 30 days with 2556. So 2,556 deliveries over my lifetime, and I probably started a year ago in maybe January, February range. So I got started with DoorDash because my daughter was home from college and she didn't do anything to proactively get a job before she got home. And then once she got home for like, she was home for 6 weeks or something like that. She went out for a day and didn't get any job offers, and then she decided to DoorDash. So I was like, all right, well, she went out a few times door dashing and didn't hardly get anything at all. And I said, well, how about we do it from like 6 to 9 or something like that. I don't know. We went out and in 3 nights, and we made 300 plus. Well, we made like $280, $290 in 3 nights. We didn't get 100 in one of the nights, so I don't remember. But anyway, we got considerable amount of money for the time that we were gone for 3 nights in a row, just to show her that it can be done. But and that, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna have to do it the right way and not just, I think I'll go out for a little while and then I'll come home, or I'm bored, or I got too many friends wanting to do stuff and this, that, and another. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. I've heard all the excuses, but I guess whenever you grow up at some point, you're gonna have to realize that you got to make money to be able to pay your bills, and when you don't have real bills, it's hard to understand that you have to put things on the back burner or schedule things around when you have to work. So, but it is what it is. Maybe you do things that you don't want to do, but you have to make money, and so if you don't have any other way, then you go to DoorDash, or you go to some other thing that you can find a way to make money. So that's one of the things that I ask is like, how can we make money outside of DoorDash? And be real, not like all these people on TikTok or on YouTube saying, "Oh, get rich like this, make lots of money, make $1,000, blah blah blah." I don't know, maybe, but I haven't seen it for real. So I'm gonna go get this food, and I will be right back. All right, guys, we are back. Got everything packed up. It looks like we're going to the ER at the hospital, so I got some snacks today: grapes, blueberries, tomatoes, and carrots. So I get to watch me eat some veggies and fruits. Alright. So it says it's 7 miles away and only 10 minutes. So I don't know if it's going to be 10 minutes. I think it would be a little bit longer just because getting on and off the freeway at this time of day is going to be a little bit backed up. Alrighty then. We're gonna hop on the freeway. I know the clouds don't look all that pretty, so I hope we don't have any bad weather. It's not supposed to, but they do look a little bit ominous, or a little bit low hanging, but it's almost like spring in Arkansas. Also, if I think about it, I'm going to try to keep on track of my gas mileage tonight, just to see if I can get this thing back up to 30. I don't know what's going on. I'm at 22.6 right now. I don't know what the heck happened. Ever since I got my oil changed, I haven't been able to get very good mileage. The time before I took it in, I had 35 miles to the gallon. Now, and I don't know what I did on that tank of gas, but I was easily getting 31, 32 every time, and then that one tank of gas, I guess I had just a lot of like access road or long access road drives and things like that. But I don't know what's been going on lately. Clouds look nasty. It's just the fact that we're kind of going up a hill and you can't see over the top of it, and it looks like we're driving right into a cloud that's touching the ground. best of you this year. It was driving me absolutely crazy. The pollen's bad, but then on top of it, I've had 3 days of doing training where all I do is talk all day long. And so it just kind of wears my throat out. Trying to make sure that I don't get sick. I know I can't really prevent it, but maybe help to stave it off at some point. Hopefully I'm not getting sick. I don't want to be sick on this trip. Follow the GPS. It always says go into this neighborhood and come back around on the other side. I don't know, maybe it's quicker, but that normal exit I take, it seems to be backed up a little bit. Now I could cut through the parking lot, but that's kind of, I don't know if it's illegal, but it's probably not the best thing to do. But this doesn't seem to be too bad, and it's somewhat devoid of cars. And I come out on the side of the road that I want to be on, and I don't have to wait for a stoplight. So maybe DoorDash GPS does know something. Oh, but guess what? I just missed the turn. And the rain is coming down even more now. So yeah, that was could have been a great shortcut, except I'm not paying attention to the GPS where I'm supposed to turn. Yeah, not a bad deal. It's starting to come down harder now. I don't know, it needs to blow over before I have to go take this food inside. I wish it was around on the front side of the hospital. They have a little parking area, not a parking area, but a drop-off area, of which I always park in and deliver food from. But the emergency room does not have that. And you gotta park across the street. take out the old rain jacket here. Alright, I'm gonna take this food in. I'll be right back. Alright, I am back. I just was looking at the other order. It was a $2, it was $4.75 dash base pay with a $2 tip for $6.75. Oh, I can't wear this in here, it's too hot. And then I just got another order, which is an unheard of order. I don't know how far it was, 10, 11 miles maybe. For Captain D's. They're eating some major seafood tonight, but it's $18. So, delivering some Captain D's. I don't know where to, but we're gonna be making the rounds here for $18. I will take it. So I give me directions, because I always get confused coming out of this hospital trying to get anywhere. Probably do. Well, no, Captain D's is back up this way on Military, so I could just go back to the freeway and go down and show where they are, but oh, I just did miss the turn. I'm gonna make a U-turn right here in the middle of the street, because I don't want to go up here, I know that much. And it does now tells me to go up to the freeway. Oh well. Alright. So for those that have stuck around this far, a couple of standard things that we do every single night that we dash is a random top 5 list, and we discuss some personal finance, especially associated with people that do DoorDash, how we can save money for our futures and things like that. So, nothing that I make any money off of, but things that I feel pretty passionate about. And I do have teenagers who can come up with every excuse, and I've heard plenty of excuses over the years, even my own excuses as to why not to work, how the man is going to get your money anyway. But I understand they're also just excuses to not do anything. So, I mean, we can go down that path, or we can get off our ass and do something, even if it's something small, right? I always think about that. I always think about, I hear people, including myself, complain, and never really do anything about it, or complain about things and have opportunities to do things about it, but you won't go and do what you can do, right? It's like, well, I don't want to do that. This is the one I've had arguments with. It's like, well, I want to go to work at Starbucks. And I was like, well, why don't you go apply at this place? Well, they only pay $12 an hour, and Starbucks pays $15 an hour, and I would rather work for Starbucks. I was like, oh, okay. Well, have you applied for Starbucks? No. Okay, well, go apply for Starbucks, and while you're at it, apply for the other place, right? And then whichever one you can get a job at, then you at least make at least $12 an hour. Well, I don't want to apply at the other place because Starbucks pays more. And I'm like, oh my goodness, you're driving me freaking crazy. And oh no, Captain D's is up here. I thought I missed it already. But, all I'm going to tell you is that if you can get a job at the other place making $12 an hour, but you can't get a job working at Starbucks, well, $12 an hour is better than $0 an hour every day of the week. So please just go out there and get a job. Don't make up that crazy excuse. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, we are back. That took a lot longer than expected, but it is what it is, as one of my catchphrases. So I go in there, they almost have it ready, but they're like, hey, can you let the customer know we don't have their broccoli, blah, blah, blah. And evidently they've ordered some big old meal that comes with like multiple sides and this, that, and another. And then so I said, okay, they don't have broccoli. What else? What do you want? They said, we'll take corn on the cob. And the manager in the back was like, nope, we can't do corn on the cob. It costs extra. So we go through the whole thing, sending them the list of the available foods at the same price. Or I tell them that the corn on the cob is going to be an extra $4 that I can buy it and they can pay me back. So I wait another minute or so, I don't get an answer. And then I was like, okay, I'm just calling because they're waiting on me now, And so I call them, and he answers the phone and said, just go ahead and get the corn. I said, all right. So then they had to make the corn, obviously, right? And then, as he was saying, go ahead and get the corn, the lady in the back yells, we'll just give him the corn. I was like, all right. So I sent him a message that said, hey, I got him to get me the corn at no extra charge. So we'll see. And then at least they're relatively responsive over the text messages and the phones. Some people you just never hear from, and you call the number and it's like a disconnected number or some crap. So you just do the best you can do, right? Six miles, 9 minutes. So back to the other end of town. I got this dude sliding out on the access road, and now he's just coming flying up behind me. I guess I could have stayed in the slow lane. I don't know where this on-ramp is. Evidently it's 1.3 miles ahead. So, hopefully, even though we started a good 45 minutes late today, we got an $18 order and a $6.75 order, so that's going to put us at a decent number. Not outstanding, but gets us back in line with over $20 in 2 hours. More than $10 an hour, let's put it that way. If I go backwards to my time that I should have started. So it's probably $20 an hour from the time I actually started though, but still. I think there's people out driving around that probably shouldn't have a license today. I've seen 2 different people try to fishtail it already just on the access road. By me. I bet their gas mileage is going down. Huh. I'm up to 26.4. Harder to get better gas mileage the more you go into a tank, because I'm at 3/4 of a tank and I've already been 200 miles, probably on a 260 mile jog, and so to try to get it to go up to 30 when you're sitting at 200 miles already, that means you would have to get an extra 40 miles out of that last, say, 2.5 gallons. Which would mean you're going to get 100 miles out of 2.5 gallons, as opposed to like 60 or so. Yeah. I think there's going to be a tough row to hoe trying to get up to 30 before I have to get gas. expect it's going to get darker early because of all the clouds too. Still got to come up with a top 5 list. I suppose I could do something really cheesy that's not cheesy at all. My top 5 veggies, top 5 vegetables. There's some random kids on bicycles. Stay out of the middle of the street. Do I have 5 veggies that I eat that I like? Possibly. Especially if you cook them and melt cheese over the top of them. Well, I think we'll go with that. I may have to sit back and think about what these top vegetables are, and I'm not gonna be scientific and say, well, actually that is a fruit. I'm just gonna say if we grew up and it was a vegetable, then it's a vegetable. How about that? So tomatoes, vegetables. So, if it goes in a salad, it's a vegetable. That's not true. I do like blueberries in a salad. I've had slices of apple in a salad. Raisins. Cran raisins, or whatever they are. Those are pretty good in a salad. Let's see, what else is good? So, I know, like, lettuce, tomatoes, zucchini, squash, yummy, eggplant. Maybe we might make it a top 5 vegetables that James will not eat. Huh. That might be an easier list than the ones I will. And sometimes just because I eat them doesn't mean I like them. I bought a big old bag of raw broccoli and that stuff. I was like, no, it's not that good without smothering it in ranch dressing. There's some things I like cooked and some things, and I won't eat them raw. Some things I eat raw that I won't eat cooked. We are way back up in some neighborhood. This person's name is really familiar, but I don't know if I've been to this house before. This is just a unique name. Oh, I thought I saw somebody standing out in their yard, and I looked back there, and it's a huge rooster. And it's a statue. Surely it's the house with a bunch of cars parked at it. Otherwise, why are they getting so much food? Alright, I'll be right back after delivering this food. Thanks for watching. Alright, so a $4 DoorDash pay, $14 tip with an $18 total. So that was very nice of those people, so thank you very much. It's much appreciated. A new order. Dang, everything here tonight is a long drive. So this is delivering where? Way up in Alexander. So $7.50, I'll take it. We're gonna take them. We're gonna take them. Take advantage of the money coming in. See if we can't get it turned into something better. Alright, gotta go to Zaxby's. Alright. Top 5 veggies. Count. Trying to figure this out in my head before I give it away. I have some. I'm just trying to think of some thing. I just don't know what I buy. Oh, I can. Oh. An additional $3 to take something 0.6 miles, but I have to go to Wendy's. I'm just going to decline that. That knocks me to 81%, which is some crap, because I don't want to have to do it for $3 and have to put up with the people at Wendy's. Nothing against people at Wendy's, but sometimes it ain't. They just are really slow. So maybe if it was $4, $5, $6, yeah, I would do it. I think DoorDash is probably keeping some of the money on that one, because even if the customer left a $2 tip, and I would only get $1 from DoorDash or something like that. I don't know, but $3 ain't gonna cut it. I just wonder if they send it out to someone else. Here's another one. $2 for 0.2 of a mile. It makes me wonder if it's the same house, because it looks like the same thing. The houses are very close to each other on the same road, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna decline that one. I'll take it. It didn't knock me down any, but I'm not going to do these things for $2. I don't care if it is on the way. It's very frustrating that they do that crap. Alright, so there was a $5 one added on, and I pick it up at Zaxby's. So now I have 2 pickup at Zaxby's. One for $5.75, one for $7.50, one for $5. So, and I don't know. It's going to be a relatively close delivery, I think. Now we just have to get Zaxby's to get their stuff together. Alright, while I wait in here, I will be trying to come up with my top 5 veggies. Well, I eat a carrot too. See you in a minute. Alrighty then. Another DoorDash ordeal. So, I go, park the car, get out, walk across the street, go to open the door. No, it's locked. Door's locked to Zaxby's. No indoor picking up food for drivers tonight. So I go get back in the car, pull around, and get in the long line of cars. And every car in front of me, they pull up to the window and they say, hey, can you pull up to that spot up there? Can you pull up to this spot over here? Can you pull up over here? And we'll bring the food out to you. And finally get up to me, and I've got 2 orders, and they're like, oh, by the way, we don't have any ice. I'm like, just give me their drinks. I don't know what to tell you. If you don't have ice, you don't have ice. I can't do anything about it. So it is what it is. I hope that these people have ice wherever they want, wherever we're taking this food to. So yeah. I don't know if I'm ever going to get out of this parking lot. Alright, we're going to take a shot right here. Slow down, people. Alright, the first one is to a hotel right across the freeway. And then the other one is a little bit further down the freeway. So I'll have to go across the freeway, come back across, and go toward Little Rock. So, it's all good. The rain has seemed to have dissipated a bit. I think most of the weather is further south of us, and it's still cloudy back behind me, and I'm going north, but it looks not blue skies, but lighter colored skies up ahead. So I think I'll make me go inside this La Quinta. It looks like they are. Been many years since I've stayed at the La Quinta. This one does seem like it's a rather, well, I don't know how, if you can say nicer, but on the nicer end of La Quintas. So, I'm gonna go run this food up there, and I'll be right back. Okay, people. Oh, yeah. This one is wearing me out a little bit. Oh. So, so this person just said, so in addition, well, so I said that to the first one, I took the stuff up there, but I was kind of peeking in the bag. I did not see the utensils, and they're in a hotel. So, so I don't know. Maybe they were inside the chicken box or something. Fingers crossed, right? Then this next one, so I just sent this one a message and said, "Hey, I'm on your way." And then I go, "They were out of ice, so there's that." But I sent this little the usual meme. So she goes, "LOL, that's all right." And then, "Your memes are funny, by the way." So that makes my day. So I'm just gonna tell her that makes my day. I picked them just for you. I don't know how somebody will take that, but whatever. Well, I think it's funny. Yeah, I individualize my memes to the person that I've never met before. But I do to some extent. I have ones that I get better reactions from men versus women. And sometimes I don't know if it's a man's name or a woman's name. So, I just take, if that's the case, if I'm not sure, I always send the one that I would normally send to a female. And it's just Friends versus The Office, right? So there's a couple different memes about waiting at the restaurant for your food. And one of them is a Friends character, and they're all sitting on the couch in the Central Perk waiting on food, and they're kind of all looking up like they're waiting on the order. Whereas the other one is Jim from The Office, and he's just looking through the blinds, all creepy looking, and it's like me waiting on your order, me at the restaurant waiting on your order, so it's just really stupid. But on those two, I do men versus women. And then, like, I tend to send, like, the SpongeBob SquarePants, "I'm on your way with your food," to more females than I do men. Although most guys that are ordering DoorDash nowadays probably equate to some SpongeBob. Maybe. But then, that, I don't know, just different things. I'm trying to think of other things, like, the other ones that I send, most of them are funny to me, and maybe people nowadays, they're like, "What the heck is that?" So I have one that's related to The Princess Bride, and I bet most people in their 20s or maybe even 30s might not even know what The Princess Bride is. So there's that one. They might not know about the movie Taken. So there's one of them with Liam Neeson on the phone to these people saying, "I don't know who you are, but I have your food and I will find you." That kind of deal. So I think it's hilarious. But so those ones, like the Liam Neeson one, I might send more to men. But I don't know. It's just kind of hit or miss on those ones. There's the one with Captain Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean, or Caribbean, whichever way you say it. And he's running away from that tribe of cannibals, and he is He's carrying a DoorDash bag in his hand. And it just says, "I'm on the way with your food." So, yeah, fun stuff that I try to do to make it better, to get people to at least enjoy the situation. Some people don't like it. I saw this one post on Facebook the other day, and there's DoorDash driver groups on Facebook that you can join, but then there's jerks that get on there who are saying like, "I'll never tip a DoorDash driver," and just trying to start some crap. Well, there's one that's like, "I'll slap somebody that the next person that sends me a meme when they're door dashing." And I'm like, I guess that'll be me. So I thought that was pretty funny. Alright. Top 5 vegetables. I'm trying to think of anything that I just really just go out there and I'm like, I gotta have some of that. I gotta have some of that. So, so I will include some things, just anything that was deemed a vegetable when you were a kid is still deemed a vegetable today. Tomatoes, potatoes, I don't know, just all that stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I would not eat as a kid, and I'll tell you right now, spinach is one of them I still won't eat. I take that back. I will eat raw spinach anytime. Cooked spinach, on the other hand, is absolutely disgusting. Carrots are disgusting when they are cooked. I'm not eating those things. They're absolutely, no. I don't like them. Not gonna eat them. Alright, so let me think about this. How do I want to rank these things? So, I'm gonna put 2 of them together, even though they're different, but they're still in the same family, and you usually get them together. Okay, and I think that's gonna be my number 5. So, sliced zucchini and yellow squash. So they're both a squash. One is zucchini and one is yellow. But if you slice them and throw them on the grill or some kind of grill, even if you saute them in salt and pepper, maybe some butter or olive oil or something, those things are delicious. Okay? So that's going to be my number 5 go-to thing with some sauteed squash and zucchini as my number 5. So number 4, I'm trying to think about this. Number 4, I'm gonna throw out there because I do like them, and I will sit there and eat them until they're gone. I'm trying to think about if I'm gonna skip anything here. So, and the fact that I grouped those other 2 together, so that kind of knocks some stuff out of there as well. So that. Alright, maybe I gotta come up with one more here. What else do I eat as far as vegetables go? Well, that's interesting. I can't, I'm drawing some blanks here. I'm thinking about going to like a Luby's or someplace like that. All the different kind of vegetables they might have in there. I know what it was. Okay, so, all right, so here's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go with, yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with, because I eat these all the time, and I don't necessarily think they're the best thing, but they're good. They're not bad for you as far as that stuff goes, and I will eat them. And that is a raw carrot. Okay, so just straight up raw carrots. I will eat those, just like potato chips, except they're immensely better for you. So that's my number 4. Number 3, I'm gonna go with. Wow. Number 3. Yeah, I'm probably going to go with. I don't know how you cook them. I have never done this, but I suppose I could because it's very similar. Either sauteed or I throw them in the broiler, or you can throw them on the grill or whatever. But asparagus. There's something about some, and I usually cook them with like pork chops and put them on the side in a broiler. And then cook them for probably 3 to 5 minutes and then flip them over. And to me, those things, maybe put a little salt and pepper, maybe put a little bit of Cavender's, what is Cavender's? A Greek seasoning. Yeah, I love, and roll them around in some olive oil before you throw them in the broiler. But yeah, some broiled, grilled, sauteed, whatever, asparagus is tasty stuff. I remember when I was a kid, the only way I ever had asparagus was straight out of a can. And I thought that is the most disgusting thing I've ever had in my life. But as an adult, eating fresh cooked asparagus is pretty tasty stuff. So that would be number 3. And then I'm going to go to number 2. And I'm going to say, almost any way you want to fix a potato, I'm going to eat it. So you throw out some French fries, I'll eat some French fries. If you want to whip up a thing of mashed potatoes, I'll eat some mashed potatoes. If you want to make some double smashed, I don't know, like twice baked potatoes, I will eat the heck out of those things. Hash browns, oh my goodness, I had some of the best hash browns I ever had in my life like 2 weekends ago at this place in Little Rock called the Croissanterie. Ooh, those things were good. Skillet potatoes, whatever you want to call them, that I don't know, they're the same as hash browns to me, but maybe they're different. But yeah, potatoes are good. Baked potatoes. Baked potato, usually I had to throw in a bunch of stuff, but I'll eat it. But yeah, I think ultimately, obviously, French fries is the way to go there, but still. Yeah, so my number 2 is the potato. And my number 1 favorite thing as far as vegetables go is going to be the tomato. They're good. So this is what I do like in the summertime, is getting homegrown heirloom tomatoes. And you think back to your childhood, I guarantee you, your grandmother, your mother, somebody got some big fat tomatoes, sliced them up, put them on a plate, put some salt and pepper on there. I've seen people put mayonnaise on them and eat them with a fork. And I would say there's nothing wrong with that. It's not something I normally do, but I've started doing it the last couple of summers. Maybe it's just something that old people do, and I'm old now. But yeah, I can eat that as a meal. If you can cut them pretty thick, it's like eating a freaking steak. And it's really tasty. I don't know, it's just good to me. But also, if you get any kind of either cherry tomatoes or any kind of those small little tomatoes, and you do just like I did with the asparagus, put some olive oil on them, salt and pepper, maybe a little Cavendish, and throw them in the broiler with some other stuff, and you kind of get a little char on those things, or maybe you slice them in half and do it so that you can flip them over, then yes, those things are excelente. And then there's spaghetti sauce made with what? Tomatoes. So yeah, I love spaghetti sauce, marinara, pizza sauce, whatever. I'll eat that stuff like it's going out of style. Oh, there it is. Alrighty. Okay, guys, I'm gonna deliver this food. I will be right back. Thanks for watching. Alright. I only spilled half their drink all over my pants. So, you know. So that was a $5.50 DoorDash pay with a $2 tip, so $7.50. So thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. That puts us at $39.25 after right at 2 hours. So alright, so let's see, how do I want to get out of this place? Trying not to get ran over here. I hate this neighborhood. It's up on the top of this hill, and it's like, do you go, once you get up here, you're kind of in no man's land, so you can go back the way you came, or you can go forward and go a different way out, but either way, it's just a long ways to get back to town. So I'm gonna make the turn and go backwards the way it came. So anyway, all right, well, I am going to what I want to do, I think I'm gonna, so we went through our top 5. We'll recap the top 5. Was a sauteed or grilled, what was it? Squash and zucchini combined. Number 4 was what was number 4? Carrots, raw carrots. Number 3 was a grilled, broiled asparagus. Number 2 was potatoes cooked almost anyway. Number 1 was the tomato. So our top 5 veggies. If you get this far and you have differences of opinions or think I left something off my list, then put it down in the comments below. I would greatly appreciate that. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this for now and let me get back to the other side of town, and then we'll start back up when I get on another dash. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Thanks for watching. Alright guys, we're back. Stopped and got me a little drink, some chips, maybe a candy bar. Got a little order going to McDonald's for like 3.3 miles for $5, so hopefully they'll have it ready when I get in here. No guarantees. They do have a backed up line in the drive-thru, so that's not a good sign for this McDonald's. So anyway, I'm gonna run in. I will be right back. All right, guys. You're like, alrighty, thank you. So I just picked up from McDonald's. I think I know what direction I'm going. Okay. So yeah, picked up from McDonald's. I am also not listening, but I was listening when I was driving to the Razorbacks baseball team fell to number 11 in the country after being number 1 for 1 week. Well, they fell from 1 to 2 and then to 5 and then to 11 because they've lost 3 SEC series in a row, which kind of just sucks for them. But the SEC is crazy good this year. So anyway, so this week, the number 1 team in the country, Texas, Arkansas's arch rival from the old days, is in town, and Arkansas played them last night and beat them 9-0, the number 1 team. So now, I don't know, they must have had a rain delay or something, so it's getting pushed back to like 7:45 tonight. So, anyway, I wouldn't mind listening to that, but I also have a DoorDash channel to produce. There goes another little Honda Fit. It's a lot newer model than this one, though. Evidently, it's a lot faster, too. And there's another one. That is weird. 3 Honda Fits in a row. Is it like a convention or something? I think I see flashing lights up there. I don't know if that's a fire truck. Maybe I'm just seeing things. Maybe it was off of a sign or something. But I don't see them now. So maybe I was just seeing things. So I'm going up to some apartments up here somewhere. I hope it's the easiest ones, because there's some of them I don't like because they're just like, they're not easy to get to. So we'll see. I guess I'll know when I turn the corner up here if they're going to be the apartments on the right or the ones on the left. Could be all the way back around the corner, another corner. So I just don't know which ones they are now. It says 3 minutes, so I'm assuming it's the closer ones, but maybe not. Maybe it doesn't take that long to drive down that road. Alright. Well, so I'm getting ready to go out of the country for a whole 5 weeks. Oh, this one seems a little, I don't know where these seem a lot closer, but I don't think I've ever been to these ones down here. Maybe they're the same apartments as the ones further down. It's just way down here. Huh. I've never come in this entrance. Oh well. There's a first time for everything, right? But, yeah, I'm looking forward to going on this trip, seeing a lot of new things, seeing things I've never seen before. I've always heard great things about Portugal's food, and that's probably what prompted me more than anything to go on this trip, is to kind of see what I can figure out with their food scene. And then just more and more like online research, finding out all the cool stuff that they have around there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. So, all right, I'm gonna go deliver this food and I will be right back. Alright guys, we are back. I don't know, it was like a $3, what is it? $3 DoorDash with a $2 tip for $5. And now I just accepted another 5 something order for like 3 miles or something. Or maybe it was 5 miles. But anyway, we're gonna try to make sure our AR stays up in the 80s. I did earlier while I was turned off. I got a $3 order for like 9 miles and I turned it down, so I don't even remember. That was before that Walmart order. I need to get back over to my part of town because I'm just gonna get these fast food orders that go north, south. They're like, come up to this neighborhood here where all these apartments are, or get an order in the same area where there's a McDonald's, there's a Sonic, there's a Little Caesars, there's a little Asian restaurant, there's a Mexican place there, and then all the orders are either south of the freeway and go down that way a ways, or come up to these apartments, or in this, there's a neighborhood over back behind here. And then every once in a while you'll get some that go far east into Little Rock, and I'm just like, I gotta get back towards my neck of the woods. So anyway, I don't feel like I don't know, just the tips seem, I don't know, there's no rhyme or reason, but possibly I just feel comfortable and I feel like I can get potential to get better orders down there. Nothing against delivering food to people here. It's just that we're in business to make money, and I need better than $5 orders. Sorry, not sorry. Is that a thing? But yeah, I just need to, if I could consistently get $5 orders and get 4 of them done in an hour, then I would probably be okay with it. But usually you're waiting a good 5 minutes at the restaurant, maybe 10 minutes, then it's going to take you 10 minutes to deliver it, and then 10 minutes to get back. For $5, you've already spent 30 minutes. And so then you're only getting $10 an hour. So I need to be in a place where I at least have the potential to do better. And not to say that I wouldn't occasionally get some decent orders here. I forget where not my first one today, but that $18 order, where was that? Oh, that was a pickup in Benton, but delivered to Bryant. So part of that was like, it was fairly decent drive time, but I think it was only like a $4 base pay with a $14 tip. So that was the best one tonight. So we'll keep our fingers crossed and keep trying to get those orders, right? Alright, Sonic. Sonic. Alright, people, come on. Pull on out. I don't know about y'all, but do y'all like to pull up the Sonic where you can see what's going on around you instead of being back in the back? So I always get the very first order, alright, or first row. Alright, I'll pause this and I'll be right back.
Thank you for...
Alright guys, so we got the Sonic order backed up. It's just in the front seat here. Hopefully not gonna spill all up in the front seat. So Razorback game still hasn't started yet. They're just talking, I guess, the rain delay. I don't know if it's rain delay, lightning, probably lightning more than anything. But they said, I don't know if what they said about it, but I know for me, oh look, there's a train. So this is where I always send them a message. And there's a train. So we have got 1.8 miles, 4 minutes, so a little bit to go. Might have to turn the AC off tonight. I don't know if this cold air or this front came through that brought all this rain is going to be cooler this weekend. I don't know. I wonder. I might look at that. Daily. Oh, look at that. 73 for a high, and tomorrow night 48. We might have to open the windows again. 73 and 49, 78 on Monday. On Tuesday, though, I wonder. DFW. On Tuesday, thunderstorms, potential for heavy rainfall, 10 to 20 miles an hour, chance of rain 80%, 1 to 2 inches of rain expected. I do not want to fly and take off from Dallas in thunderstorms. And that's on Tuesday when we're flying out. I think we leave around noonish. That's going to be miserable. I'm just not a big fan of that. So, I do know that in Lisbon, where we're going, we land there on Wednesday, the high of 65 and a low of 53. So 68, 70, 72, 71, 69, 69, 69, 69, 69, all the way through the 16th. So it might be colder there than what I was anticipating. So I am packing one hoodie, which I haven't worn any here in about a month. I might have put one on a few nights ago. It was a little chilly. But I don't like the looks of this train. It's slowing down considerably. I don't know why. But yeah, that is not looking good for me anyway. I don't like it when it rains and when we are oh, there goes the train. Yeah, I don't like it in the rain and flying. I don't mind getting, well, needless to say, I don't like taking off. I don't like landing in bad weather. I've done it plenty of times. It's not my favorite. I've even had one flight in where was that? In was it Billings, Montana? And Billings Airport is up on this big plateau and that overlooks the whole city. But when you're coming down in the airplane, all you can see is the city way down there. I remember the very first time I landed in Billings, and it was at nighttime, like at midnight or something. And you're coming down, and you see the city is way down there, and you're just like, oh yeah, this is cool. You know, you can see everything. Let me get my map back out before I lose where I'm going. So you can see everything, and then all of a sudden, and you're like, what the heck just happened? Well, and I did not know that it was up on this big plateau, and you're just landing up on the top, and you can still, well, at this point I couldn't see the city, but yeah, you just freak out a little bit. But one time it was so windy, and we're in I don't know, not a huge Delta airline airplane, but probably one that has at least 4 rows across, or four columns of seating, right? 2 on each side. We're coming down in there, and all of a sudden they're like, nope, we can't do it. And they almost land, and then immediately took back off. And I was like, oh Lord have mercy, this is gonna be, that was the, you know, maybe not the scaredest I've been on an airplane, but that was pretty scary. I don't like those ones where they get those crosswinds and they're like trying to get it level, you know. It just makes me bonkers. I don't know where I've been scared, but you just have uneasy feelings. It probably doesn't help that you've watched so many airplane crash type movies. You know, I knew I shouldn't have watched Lost before I got on the airplane. But anyway, it was I used to fly a lot for work, and then just going up in planes. I remember this one kid, I don't know, I called him a kid, but I don't know, he could have been an 18, 22 range, somewhere in there. And he was having a severe meltdown just from being on the plane. And I'm sitting across from him, and they just happened to have some mental health professional that was sitting right in front of them and switched the seats with the person that was sitting next to this kid who was not related, and just got him through it. So I was like, whew, I need some therapy after watching that kid, because it's like that stuff can be contagious, you know. Anyway, all right. Well, I'm at this house, so I'm going to drop this food off, and I will be back shortly. Thanks again for watching. Well, evidently this is one of those people that doesn't like to tip. So, another day in the life, right? We'll catch them on the next Dasher. $5.25 for DoorDash pay, so I can appreciate DoorDash throwing a little bone my way, because the customer did not. So we will just go on. Puts me up to, that's weird. I thought I was up higher than that, but anyway, I'm up to $49.50. I guess this is where I was at. So this is exactly what I was talking about a minute ago. I took 2 $5 orders, and it's taken me an hour to deliver them. Because it was an hour ago, and I was at 48 something, like $49, and now I'm at $49.50, and it's been right at an hour to deliver 2 $5 orders. So yeah, that's kind of frustrating in that. I gotta get back. I'm gonna hit this pause button, and just get back towards where I feel like I might get a chance to get some better orders. Maybe won't, but at least there will be a chance, right? Let's see what my AR is up to now. I'm still at 81, so with the last couple of orders I took, I don't remember, maybe I had a decline in there or something, I don't know. But I think I had it up to 83 and it's down to 81, maybe. Let's see. Still sitting at a 5.0 on the on that, so you know, we'll just keep trucking along, try to get decent orders, try to get it's kind of I don't know, I can't imagine just I do know that part of, you know, obviously I have some kind of will to please people, and I feel appreciated when I get 5.0 on my ratings, and then but you don't really know when you get negative ones. You don't know when they come or who did it and that kind of stuff. So you just kind of roll with it. That's just part of this the thing we do with DoorDash. So it's hard to say if you do get a negative rating. You don't know what you did wrong, because DoorDash won't tell you. Well, you don't know what the customer said you did wrong. So it is what it is. You just kind of have to take those lumps as you get them and keep working hard and keep doing things to make you feel good about what you're doing. I do hear a lot of negative things about some DoorDashers. You know, DoorDashers that don't interject or give feedback, or not feedback, but give updates as to what's going on. I do feel like a lot of people appreciate that, and I've had people say I've never had any interaction with DoorDashers. They just, you know, pick up my food and drop it off, and I never hear anything from them. So they're appreciative that you know, that I've taken the time to do that kind of little stuff for them. And I just look at it as kind of like, this is my way of providing a little bit of customer service, and hoping that they will apply another tip. I did forget to mention, or did I? I can't remember. So one of my ones earlier that I took to the hotel there in Bryant was, and it was only a $3, I think, add-on. So it was a $2 from DoorDash and a $1 tip, but then she added $2 more, so made it a $3 tip. So that was nice of her. So I don't think anybody else has added to the tip tonight. And granted, I got the one that was $14 tip, so that was freaking awesome. But even the rest of them, some people don't know how to tip. Some people think you get more than what you're worth as you're doing it anyway, or whatever. It is sometimes frustrating, but it also, if you keep humble about it or whatever, and you just think, well, maybe those people are tipping all they can, right? So at the end of the day, they all average out. You get paid what you get paid, and some days you complain about it, some days you get a lot more money than what you expected. So again, at the end of the day, it all balances out. Look at this. It's like we got sun shining. You can still see some haze and some clouds, but the sun is, well, it's down behind the trees, but it's the rays are showing up over the top of them. Compared to what it was like 2 hours ago, it's just kind of like night and day. So I don't know if this front is pushing through, but I am feeling a little chilly out here. And what the problem is. My windshield is trying to get water condensation on it because I'm instead of blowing the fan where the speaker of the phone is, I put it up there on the defroster, and it's like putting all this condensation on my windshield. So I turned that down to the feet. But I don't know if I got shorts on, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to hang that air conditioner on my legs. It's kind of at that temperature, one of those where like if you turn the AC off, it gets hot, and you turn it on, you get cold. So you're kind of like back and forth, back and forth. I think that's the way I am every single night with sheets on my feet. I put sheets on my feet and they get hot. Then I kick the sheets off and they get cold. Back and forth all night long. Alright, we're gonna give it another little bit here to try to get back into Bryant a little ways, so I'm not so close to where I was, and before I turn this dasher back on. I tell you guys what I need to do is I need to figure out how to get a vehicle for my kid. He is 15. He'll be 16 next year. And I don't want to spend money on a car because I want to go on a huge trip with him. So, yeah, there's my dilemma. Now, granted, the trip won't be that expensive, but it will be a little bit expensive. Something that I'm gonna have to dash for a little while. So yeah, there's that. Resume dash. Let's see what we can get. We're at 49.50. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to get a major boost to get $100, unless I go late, and I don't. Well, I got about 5,400, almost 5,500 steps. So I still have 4,500 steps to go, which is going to take me a good 45 minutes to do, because that's over 2.5 miles. And we get a Firehouse Subs that goes way back into the boonies the other direction, so we'll accept it. It's $8.50. So I need a couple more. I wish I would get an add-on to that one, to tell you the truth. I got some low-hanging fog-looking stuff over Bryant. I don't know if that's. I hope that's not smoke. It looks weird. I really think there's cold air coming in behind this this front that's blowing all this. Because south of here, it looks pretty bad later on tonight, at least as far as storms blowing up. But it all stays, according to the forecast, on the radar, it looks like it's staying. It looks like it's staying to the south. Now I got the hiccups. about subs, my one complaint about these guys is that for DoorDashing, they put their subs in long boxes, and they have bags that they could put them down in with a little handle on the top, but no, they put them in a sleeve type bag that there's no way to carry the thing, right? You just have to like pick it up underneath, and it's just it's just awkward, especially when they try to slide chips and other stuff up in there on top of two of those subs. I don't know. I just wish they would come up with a better scenario, because especially if you have a drink or anything like that, and you can't just pick up the handle and walk out of there. No, because you've got to do a balancing act to get that stuff in there. I think I will park across the street just because I need more steps. All right, I will be right back. All right, guys. All of a sudden, this place is getting packed. Okay, so I figure we'll deliver this one, and it's about to get dark, so we'll probably have to end this video for today, and we'll make it through this delivery. But on the long nights, we always have two different videos. One is just our regular video where we try to do a little top 5 and other random conversations. Try to throw in a little bit of what do we call it? The little bit of personal finance chatter in there. I really do like to. I don't know. I feel like people don't get enough associated with what they should be doing for themselves for the long term, and a lot of people just either listen to people who, here's the reality: is if you take financial advice from someone that doesn't have any money, then are you doing the right thing? Especially when it's negative advice saying, well, they're going to steal your money, you're going to lose all your money, that you're going to this, you're going to that. The reality is, people that have money and invest money, yes, you can lose money, but if you're long-term investors, then the only way to make money in that way and feel comfortable with it is making sure you pick quality and you invest for the long term, and you will be far better off than those people that are too scared to do anything, and too scared to even save. So that's the part that aggravates me, is like that they're trying to influence other people and say all this garbage, that and they will always be that way. They will never have any money to speak of, and yet they want to influence you to not do the thing that you need to do to save for your future, so that you don't have to, like me, be a DoorDasher at this age, right? So the things that I try to get people to do, and this is the same spiel I do almost every day, is just do a small thing. Work a couple of extra hours of DoorDash, or do something where you can come up with $25 a week. And if you can do $25 a week, and you can plug this into ChatGPT or something else, if you do $25 a week, and I know this seems like a long time, so I'm really thinking about 18 to 20 year olds, or even a little bit older, to get you to a retirement age, but for 40 years, right? So I'm talking to my kids. Start when you're young, because the time is what you need for it to grow. more so than the amount, the time. So if you can do something as little as $25 a week and enter it in. So this is what I tell people is get a retirement calculator or run it through ChatGPT. I did it through ChatGPT last night, and if you add $25 per week for 40 years and you get 8% returns, right? It grows to be like $380,000. And I just think that is something that, yeah. So you're saying, how do you get 8%? Well, I can tell you this. If you just do something as simple as the S&P 500, and the S&P 500 came out in 1957, and it's averaged 10.4% for the life. It's had good years, it's had bad years. You know? So you never know where you're going to be, but if you're doing it for the long term, you're going to get the good, you're going to get the bad, but you're going to get the average. And it's averaged 10.4% since 1957. So 68 years, it's averaged 10.4%. So I took a reasonable number at 8% and said, hey, if we get 8% and do $25 a week, which is it's like 1 to 2 extra hours a week, right? Take that money and put it into a Roth IRA. Why a Roth? Because a Roth allows you to put the money in, and if something happens, then you can get the money out that you put in with no penalties, right? If you take the earnings out, then you pay a penalty and you pay taxes on it. But if you don't take the earnings out and you keep putting that $25 in, it comes out tax-free. So if you go and put in $25 a week for 40 years, that equals $52,000. But if it grew to $380,000, well, that's roughly $320,000 that you don't owe any more taxes on, because it's in a Roth IRA and it's tax-free. So, I just don't know. I don't know how you can go wrong with that. So that's my suggestion to gig workers. Work that extra hour or two, figure it out, come up with a plan, and take $25 a week. Where do I recommend? I think maybe I don't even know if I have a link down below. I'll try to get that link down below if I don't already have it. I think Robinhood, my Robinhood link is down below. And I might get a free share of some $2 or $5 stock or something. So I'm not necessarily doing it for that, but I do it for you so that you can have access. So Robinhood is just a platform. It's online investments, and you can open up a Roth IRA there. I don't think it didn't cost me anything, but I opened a Roth just recently because I was lying to myself for years, and for whatever reason, I had started an investment account a few years ago to kind of have with play money, and I was buying and selling penny stocks and not really making any money. I was like, I won some money. I earned some, I made some money, I lost some money. I made some money, I lost some money. So it was always up and down. But then I thought, I need to start moving money over here to get it to grow better than what I had in savings. So I started moving money over throughout several years out of a savings account that I had that was making like 0.01% interest. And I found different investments that were paying better. And then I thought, why do I need money in interest-bearing things when we see the long-term growth of S&P 500 or things like that? So then I started investing in either individual stocks or, excuse me, like the S&P 500, or I would find dividend-bearing investments. And those things are probably a little bit more risky. Some of them have gone up in value, and I've sold them and made money that way, and got lots of dividends off of them. Other ones I've lost money on. They still pay dividends, but I've still lost money on them. So I've got one right now that I'm sitting on that I've got, I've got a good substantial loss in it. But I also have some other things that I have a substantial gain in. So ultimately, I need to fully fund my IRA for 2025, and I think I can put in like $8,000 in a year. So why wouldn't I take the gains and the loss and balance each other out, because it's a taxable situation, and sell them, and therefore the losses balance out the gains, and then take that earning, or not the earnings, but the dollar amount, and move it over to my 401 or to my Roth IRA and fund my IRA that way. And then that way I can put it back into whatever investments I choose. And in that regard, it's now in a place that it can grow tax-free. So if I put it in things that pay dividends on a quarterly or a monthly basis, at some point when I'm ready to take the dividends to live off of, they will pay me. But until then, I will reinvest the dividends and buy more shares of the same thing. So I can tell you one that I bought for years ago, and I can't tell you the exact numbers right off the top of my head, but let's say that I can't remember what it was, but so anyway, I bought one. Let's say it paid $50 a month, because whatever the stock was, I bought it, and however many shares I had, it paid me $50 a month, and it was roughly like $10 a share. So if it paid me $50 a month, then when it paid the next day, it would reinvest, so it would buy 5 more shares, right? So if it bought 5 more shares, then the next month it pays like $51. And then you buy 5.1 shares or something like that, So every month you're buying more shares, and you see your dividend increasing every month, as long as they don't change their dividend payout. And a lot of them did when COVID hit. But then a lot of them bounced back as well. So, it could be that, you buy into things and then the market tanks for whatever reason, if we have another scare like with COVID or something else. But the reality with it is that it's going to bounce back over time. But if your money is not worth anything in the bank, it's not worth anything in the stock market, you're in the same boat either way, right? So right now they're kind of robbing you in your bank account. So I don't know. It's kind of one of those hit and miss things. I feel comfortable in the things that I do, and trying to get my money to where it's making money, and I can reinvest that money and buy more shares. Now, I don't have all of my investments into stocks that do that. I have some that are strictly growth stocks, and they don't have the dividends. So at some point, whenever they do, at some point I will convert them into something that pays a higher dividend, so that it can pay me a passive income. So that's my goal. My ultimate goal is to have passive income that supplements either it fully funds my retirement until my Social Security kicks in, and then when my Social Security kicks in, either I get a pay raise from Social Security, or I can then take those dividends and reinvest them back into themselves, and start buying more shares and live off the same amount of money that I had been living off of, but inflation's going to go up and things are still going to be expensive in the future. So I got to take into account for those things. So hopefully over the next few years, this purchasing of dividend paying stocks and reinvesting the dividend and then doing it more into a Roth IRA, where the Roth IRA money grows tax free instead of me having to pay taxes on it every year. So anyway, I know that's a lot to deal with. If you have any questions about that kind of stuff, feel free to just shoot me a comment down below, and we'll figure out how to chat offline, or we can do whatever. I don't do this professionally. I used to many years ago, but not anymore. But it's something that I enjoy, something that I feel strongly about. I wish I could see these people. Am I past the house? I might be past the house. Yep. And I don't know if it's on the left or on the right. La, 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 la. Alright, making the U-turn. Off in the grass. People, which house is yours? Alright. All the mailboxes are on one side of the street, and I just can't tell which one's which. I just can't see. Leave it at my door. Alright, I'm going to call these people.
Calls may be monitored and recorded by DoorDash and service providers for quality.
Dude, come on. They picked up and they hung up. Alright, I'm going to find this dude and I'll be right back. Alright guys, we are back. Finally, it took me a while to figure out which house because the GPS just said right in the middle of the street. So none of the houses had any markings on them. All the mailboxes were on one side. But anyway, I finally got the dude to come outside and got him his food. So anyway, the total was $8.50. It was like $4.50 DoorDash pay with a $4 tip. So appreciate that tip. My total so far today is at $58, and so we're still going, but it is dark, so I'm going to end this call, or in this session. I appreciate you guys for following along. Look forward to doing some more in a little bit with the Dashing in the Dark. And yeah, please check that out. Should be out in a day or two. So y'all have a great day. Catch you later. Bye.